God does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. He got you with the cube syndrome. You love to hate this, but let's face it, I'm fully girded and you butt naked. I'm set to be a clip filler, a bone chiller, last contender, left his ass addicted to painkillers. You vain niggas are gonna find out the picture's bigger and greater than your plus navigator. Peace to player haters. You make my status go from minor to major. Like the press claim we America's real live terrorists. But we blessed the best. Forget the rest and quit the foul talk. When it's time to pitch, you gonna mess around and bark. Lyrical night stalk, mess around and get caught. I'm already peeking. Me and my brethren tell the SOJ you as good as dead men. And that's real quoted. IQAhmath wrote it. Got a grenade without the pin and you can hold it. Fire wonders when the bomb exploded. It's lethal. Hear the word from the chosen Hebrew. We second to none. And keep it clicking like empty guns. Got loudest by the ton, but not for fame. We got numerous lanes on our scope and it range. So hit the road with your $5 ass before I make change.
We burn the midnight oil for blood, sweat for liver cows and deep like boots and soul. We still standing in the manic grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. We burn the midnight oil for blood, sweat for liver cows and deep like boots and soul. We still standing in the manic grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. I'm a G like a chick with more balls and they nigga lost with no glory for them calls. I'm making it one fly for the calls 2 times from my dogs and I change my style like draws and balls with claws, then innovation. Who shine like stars in constellations. Congregation of prophets and priests, to say the least, we in your face like T. Hoping that niggas get up in it, calls to the rest of it, assassinated, revenge, they walking dead, talking to feds, but I got a file so thick, they snap flicks, X-Files and shit, taking my bug shot. Niggas mug blocks, looking for the day when I can plug cops with hot rocks, spitting 1-5 over the wrench in the game, stuck in this rule for the lies, so the truth we can bring. We on the corners and curves, consensus and I heard niggas don't like it to bring it, cause I serve like the night stalker. Niggas walking while I'm talking, but the word is speak, the deceased while I'm talking. It's balls and prophets that the models with one, look one, book one, got on the line and one shut done. Cook the beat, cause ready to be served. As I curve and swerve the mic, you observe or I burn. Nigga, please don't concern me. It's just like Calvin Klein from now on. We burn the midnight oil, blood, sweat, boil. Liver cows is deep like boots and soil. Still standing in the manic grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing. We burn the midnight oil, blood, sweat, boil. Liver cows is deep like boots and soil. We still standing in the manic grandstanding. Yeah, we got the word and we still standing.
You wanna see this right here? You know
Welcome. Shabbat Shalom to the family in the house. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, man. You've reached it. That's right. DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger. Episode, I believe, 299. If it's not, we calling it that. You dig what I'm saying? A little earlier start today. Got some more things we're trying to get done today. So join me on this journey again for another DSTM. Shouts to the family in the house. The house of Byron in the house. Shalom to y'all. The brothers up in the northwest, shalom to y'all. Uziel, Malachi, you brothers up there, be well. Ashar, Rawak, shalom to you out. Hopefully you will. Rosemarie out there in London, shalom to you, sis. Uriah in the house, Al-Adad in the house, El in the house, all praise to the Most High, shalom fam. Look like we got Hoshai in the house, shalom to you out. Rania in the house, all right. The Quab in the house. Everybody, anyone else is going to be joining the live. Shalom, welcome. Shabbat shalom. And we got to get to it, man. We got to get to it. I don't have a lot of time today, but I am going to get it in with y'all as per usual. If you're catching up later on down the line, tomorrow, to later on today, whatever the case may be, shalom to y'all. It's all good. But nonetheless, it's time to get busy. It is time to get busy. You know what I want to do, man, today, just a little bit different. I want to set the tone by reading the book of Baruch, the 2nd chapter. Not going to do a whole lot of precepting today. I'll move as the Spirit moves me, but today I want to just read Baruch 2 with the fam, man. Just kind of meditate on it. I was reading it last night, and I was like, this would be good to kind of share for the day, a reading for the day for the family here, man. So let's get right to it, and then we'll get to the events of the week in the world. Let's see here. Let me share like that. 1 second. Where's my Baruch? If I'm coming in loud and clear, man, throw a 7 in the chat for me. Let me know I'm all right. Let me know I'm all right. Let me check myself. Seems like it. Seems like it. Seems like it. All right. I'll check myself, man. Maybe it's a little. I know it's a little delay. All right, y'all kicking in now. All right, all praises, all praises. So let's get to it. All right, we're gonna read Baruch the 2nd chapter. We're gonna read it through, and then we'll get to the events of the day. All right. Starting in verse 1. Therefore, the Lord hath made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judged Israel, and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah. So remind you, Baruch is a scribe for Jeremiah. This is during the Babylonian captivity. This is why it's so relevant, because here we are in the Babylonian captivity, and much of what he's saying resonates today with us, right? So as our people was dealing with a Babylonian captivity now, in ancient Babylon, new Babylon, right now, here we are dealing with much of the same. The Lord made good on his word. When we read Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, and all the rest of the cursings that happened to our people, and we see the parallels of what's happening with ancient Egypt and ancient Assyria and ancient Babylon, and we're seeing all those things reflective of us right now. The Lord made good on his word. Go against him, and we're going to pay the price. Didn't matter who you was. It said your judges, the kings, the princes. You know, we always say, man, one bad apple spoils the bunch. You think everybody that got on them slave ships, everybody who got colonized and got their lands destroyed and the women raped, everybody was wicked? No, there were still contingencies of our people who were keeping the laws, were trying to bear the priesthood, that were trying to maintain righteousness. But at the end of the day, one goes down, everybody goes down, right? So let's continue. To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. So there we go. That a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. That happened. We can't deny it. Israel, that happened. There were instances of cannibalism and whatnot. And even when you're talking about just devouring, meaning to sacrifice. You know, in Psalms 106, it tells you that our people were sacrificing their sons and daughters to Molech and Baal and to the strange gods of the land, right? In their idolatrous practices. Verse 4. Moreover, he hath delivered them to be in subjection to all the kingdoms that are round about us, to be a reproach and desolation among all the people round about, where the Lord hath scattered them. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord our power and have not been obedient unto his voice. So the answer is simple. Why are we going through the things that we're going through as a people, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, the descendants and the indigenous peoples who was subjected to slavery and oppression, colonization of lands, the whole nine? Is because we sinned against our power. The omnipotent power, Yahweh, who exists, he exists. The the eternal master of the universe. And we ain't talking He-Man. That's our Father. He set rules in the house. We broke them. Just like anyone that has a household with children in them, you lay down laws on how you want your household to be ran. If your children go against that, you'd be a fool not to have punishments in place in order to correct them and reprove them so that they don't do those things again and they respect your house. The Most High did the same thing with his children, the children of Israel. The scriptures tell us that the earth was made for our sakes. This is our house. He made it for us to rule and have dominion over. Break the rules of the house, we suffer punishments. It's simple. I don't know what these Negroes are running around there talking about. Oh, it's because we ain't got generational wealth. It ain't because we don't have the right education. Well, we're not going to school. We don't have this. They got nothing to do with any of the above at all. Because if we maintain the laws of the Most High, all the other things would be added unto us. Solomon only asked for wisdom to be able to judge the people. What was given him 40 years of peace, although he broke the laws and transgressed, which led us to the dividing of the kingdom and the whole nine. But we see an evidence of how it can work if we do the right things. Verse 6, to the Lord our power appertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. Y'all see all the TikTok videos, you see the YouTube shorts, you see all the stuff with our people openly out there with no shame. From the twerking to the drug dealing to the shootouts to the viral moments, everybody lying, trying to go viral, doing foolishness just for the net, trying to get paid off of views and, you know, the vanity that goes on. The Lord said, man, our people's out there with no shame, as appeareth this day. For all these plagues that come upon us, which the Lord hath pronounced against us, yet have we not prayed before the Lord that we might turn everyone from the imaginations of his wicked heart. And this was interesting too, because a sister shared with me her thoughts in the spirit as the spirit hit her. I'm saying, you know, Elder, what do you think about the conditions that our people are in and where we're at in these days and times? And, you know, are we praying to the Most High in unison for all of us and all of Israel to turn from our evil ways, to pray for the deliverance and the destruction of our enemies and the destruction of America and so forth and so on? And that's just a thought, you know. We had a good thought, Sister Cindy. You know, I sent her my feedback, and I agree wholeheartedly. Because we see here in verse 8, it says, yet have we not prayed before the Lord? The answer is in our prayers, right? Along with keeping the laws and the faith of Christ. Until that happens, we're going to be stuck right here as we're toiling and tilling the grounds in the spirit, trying to seal the elect and, you know, get the remnant prepared for the kingdom. Verse 9, wherefore the Lord watched over us for evil, and the Lord hath brought it upon us. For the Lord is righteous in all his works which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice to walk in the commandments of the Lord that he set before us. O now, O power of Israel. Shalaki. Did it change? It sure did. My bad, y'all. This computer's tripping. Now, where are we at? Let's start at verse 5 again. Thus we were cast down and not exalted, because we have sinned against the Lord our power and have not been obedient to his voice. To the Lord our power appertaineth righteousness, but unto us and to our fathers open shame, as it appeareth this day. For all these plagues that come upon us, which the Lord hath pronounced against us. So we get everything that the Lord said. Having to serve our enemies in one of all things, our sons and daughters being taken away from us, cursed when we go out, cursed when we come in, cursed be thy basket in thy store, cursed shalt thou be in the cities and the fields. We're going to go into captivity by way of ships. I mean, the list goes on and on. We get hit with the botch and the plague and the blasting and the mildew, various diseases. Our asses violently be taken away from us. I mean, there's still black farmers are still trying to wait for their quote unquote $1 billion settlement that they were supposed to get from the discrimination practices that they experienced. I don't even think they got paid yet. And we're talking about damn near 10 years ago. Black farmers won the settlement from the so-called white man doing racist practices when it comes down to their farming and the prices that they charge and all kind of madness that was happening with them. Seizing of the lands. I mean, y'all know. Sharecropping, Jim Crow, the civil rights era, you know, everything that we've had to fight and go through, all the plagues that pronounced against us came from the Most High. Verse 8, yet have we not prayed before the Lord that we might turn everyone from their imaginations of Salakia. Verse 9, wherefore the Lord watched over for us for evil, and the Lord hath brought it upon us. For the Lord is righteous in all his works which he hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto his voice to walk in the commandments of the Lord that he set before us. See, it's about us walking in the commandments. So this is why you got these zombie operatives out there with the 3-piece suits on and the priestly robes on with the white collars, telling our people that the laws are done away with. But those individuals are agents of Satan. They are the whole reason why our people remain in captivity. And the so-called white man knows this. This is why they have to be reared up in his Bible colleges, in his seminary schools, right? This is why they're holding all of these Christian conferences and everything else, trying their damnedest to try to stop the Israelites. They get funded by the so-called white man through his nonprofit 501c3 bylaws to get grants and money to keep them happy as they propose opposition towards the real men of the Lord who are trying to get our people to get back on the paths of righteousness. They want good old slave white Christianity telling you, no, believe in white Jesus, believe in the faith. All of this is about grace, the law of liberty. Oh, the law can't save you, all this other stuff. And they constantly are beating our people upside the head to make them feel as though being wicked is okay and God will accept you. Come as you are. Y'all heard that one before, right? So you trying to tell me that the church is allowing and making provisions for a man walking in with stiletto heels on and a mini skirt, and the church is okay with that? I'm sure they are. But this is what happens when they open up the doors and completely deter us away from what is going to get us back to the Most High. The Lord said it's because we didn't keep the commandments. That's it. If we get back to following after the righteous ways of the Lord, we'll be okay. We'll be saved. We'll be delivered. The Lord can finally end our captivity and our issues. That's right. Is there a scripture say, come as you are? We'll be waiting all day, Niqua. All day. Yahweh Shai will be back before they find that one. Verse 11. And now, O Lord, power of Israel, thou that hast brought thy people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and a high arm, and with signs and with wonders and with great power, and hast gotten thyself a name as appeareth this day. We're going to be exiting our Egyptian captivity again here through the same way. Signs, wonders, great power. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter says, man, the nations and people are going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. They already look at us crazy, talking about what? UFOs coming to save just black, Hispanic, Native. First of all, you talking UFOs, space stuff? Oh, y'all crazy. Only reason why that's crazy, you've got archaeology dating all the way back to Mesopotamia showing spacecraft and all this other stuff, man. Throughout history, people were witnessing so-called UFOs. But the so-called white man lays out this next level lie to say, well, yeah, they exist, but there's green men with skinny bodies and big heads, and they're about 10 feet tall, and we've caught a few of them, and we don't know if they're friend or foe, and we've chased. So that's the imagination that's in the people. So when they think about so-called space stuff, well, they think it's Star Wars, they thinking, what's the name of the other one? Close Encounters of the Third Kind, all that. He already laid out the lie to create dissent in people's mind to say that can't be real. But the Lord said, hey, with great power, wonders, signs, when we see all of the plagues that continually plague and drop down America and the rest of the earth, when we see the prophecies coming to pass regarding World War III, famine, plague, pestilence, disease, civil war, so forth and so on, those are going to be great wonders, great signs. When you see the men of the Lord out there prophesying, and hundreds at a time are going to be converting, they're going to be like, oh, shoot, this must be real. Verse 12. O Lord, our power, we have sinned and we have done ungodly. We have dealt unrighteously in all thy ordinances. Let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few left among the heathen where thou hast scattered us. See, the Most High is only concerned with the few. The so-called white man took that slogan with the Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. No, the Most High said the few is the remnant. The few is the elect, right? The Most High ain't looking for everybody. He ain't looking for where's the most of the people that believe in me at? Well, Christ said, man, first of all, wide is the gate that leads to destruction, narrow is the way that leads to life, and few there be that find it. Now we see in here it said, let the wrath be turned. Matter of fact, let me get that one too. And Matthew, what is that? Why am I drawing a blank on that one? Some 13, is it 5 and 30? No, 5, 7. Why am I drawing a blank on? Yeah, there you go. All praise to the Most High. Let's read this. Matthew 7, 13, 14. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So you think the mega churches out there, man, opening up stadiums, having concerts, doing the jig up and down the aisles, that that's where God is at. That ain't what Christ said. He says probably that group of 10, 12 in the house. Or it might be the other ones over there with the congregation of 30 over here, 50 over here, 100 over here, 200 over here, because we're at the center of the sea, so there's no limitations. Could be a camp with 1,000, a congregation with 1,000, but we're talking about on a global scale. It ain't where everybody's at. When you got 2 billion so-called quote-unquote Christians that believe, or whatever the number is amongst the Muslims, they in the damn billion. I think that's the second leading religion in the world next to Christianity. Is that where everybody's at? That's where the Spirit of the Lord is at? I can't tell. That ain't what the scriptures say. He said, few there be that find it. Right? Back to Baruch. It says, let thy wrath turn from us, for we are but a few left among the heathen, where thou hast scattered us. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and our petitions, and deliver us for thine own sake, and give us favor in the sight of them which have led us away. So our petitions are our prayers. That's what we pray, that the Most High gives pardon to our transgressions. We're praying that the Most High seal up and bind up the wounds that's been created, because the 2 Peter says that he's torn and he will bind us up. So the tearing is us being afflicted and oppressed and dealing with the curses. And the Lord said he's going to bind us back up through our repentance and our prayers. That's what we're praying for, right? Continuing on, it says that all the earth may know that thou art the Lord, our power, because Israel and his posterity is called by thy name. So is it for everybody and anybody and whosoever? No, it says all the earth is to witness this and to know. Everybody else in the earth is supposed to know what? That thou, the Lord, our. That's possessive. The whole objective is for everybody else in the earth that you can know that he is our God, our power, because Israel and his posterity is called by thy name. Yasher Allah, Yahweh. See the Yah, the he. That is what we're talking about. We're named after the Most High. Continuing on, it says, O Lord, look down from thine holy house and consider us. Bow down thy ear, O Lord, to hear us. Open thine eyes and behold, for the dead that are in the graves, whose souls are taken from their bodies, will give unto the Lord neither praise nor righteousness. But the soul that is greatly vexed, which goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Yahweh. You see what it's going to take? It says the soul, meaning that's us who's still here, greatly vexed. Remember the scriptures say, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. If you're not vexed at the things that you see here, let alone in America, throughout the earth, I mean, we get plagued. There was just a brother down in, I believe it was in Florida, Navy officer. I'm sure all of y'all heard about it. Killed by the police. And mind you, they knocked on the wrong door. They were supposed to be answering to a domestic issue, knocked on the wrong door, which was his door. He's a naval officer, licensed to have a firearm. They're knocking on the door, banging on the door. standing away from the peephole. He can't see who's out there as they're knocking on the door. What do you expect to go down? What do you expect to go down? Somebody knocking on your door in the middle of the damn night and they're standing away from the peephole. Would you just go there and open up your door and say, hello, who is it? Is anybody there? Anybody out there? Come on in. Or are you going to be armed and prepared because you don't know what's going on? So was the case when the black man opens up the door, he gets fired on immediately. Killed the brother by knocking on the wrong door. And so much for being a G.I. Joe serving your country. See what happens when you got to come on back home? Still a nigga. Okay? If that doesn't vex you, then maybe Fernando Castillo will. Maybe Ahmaud Arbery will. Maybe Sandra Bland will. Maybe Corinne Gaines will. Maybe Mike Brown will. I mean, these are just the names that we see and know. How about George Floyd? I mean, everybody was, they was, poster child for him for the damn election. Once he was utilized and BLM drug his name through the mud and everything else, you don't hear nobody talking about George Floyd no more. They're going to need a new nigga to talk about now. Maybe it's going to be this cat man that got killed, the Navy officer that got killed. Who knows? Last hire, first fire, living in a place where, the cost of living does not match your income. Greatly vexed because the heathen are ruling over us and unrighteousness. The transformers and the alphabet community are getting more rights than us. The nations are rising above us, man. You dig what I'm saying? When the scriptures even say, hey, the stranger's going to get above us very high. He's going to lend to us. We're not going to lend to him. We see the treatment that the GMO small hats get over us. We're getting called a cult and liars and everything else and crazy and racist. Meanwhile, they run around committing massive acts of genocide on Palestinian people and so forth and so on, man. And they're getting praised. We ain't killed nobody. Imagine that. The soul that's greatly vexed with goeth stooping and feeble, and the eyes that fail, and the hungry soul will give thee praise and righteousness, O Yahweh. That's the remnant. That's the elect. Those are the ones who really have lost any hope in this place. It's going to get to the point, man, where the Most High is going to beat our people down so bad, we have no choice but to look up. That's what he's waiting for. Complete humility. Verse 19. Therefore, we do make our humble supplication before thee, O Yahweh, our power, for the righteousness of our fathers and of our kings. For thou hast sent out thy wrath and indignation upon us, as thou hast spoken by thy servants the prophets, saying, thus saith the Lord, bow down your shoulders to serve the king of Babylon, so shall ye remain in the land that I gave unto your fathers. But if ye will not hear the voice of the Lord to serve the king of Babylon, I will cause to cease out of the cities of Judah and from without Jerusalem the mirth, the voice of mirth, and the voice of joy, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, and the whole land shall be desolate of inhabitants. But we would not hearken unto thy voice to serve the king of Babylon. Therefore hast thou made good the words that thou spakest by thy servants the prophets, namely, that the bones of our kings and the bones of our fathers should be taken out of their place. See, we had to serve our captivity. But in the meantime, our people is out there observing and following after the ways of Babylon, following after the ways of America, so forth and so on, right? And then we learn to repent. But this is even an instance, and this is in Jeremiah, the 8th chapter, where it tells you that the bones of our kings and our fathers will be taken out of our place. That's why we can't, there is no, I'm not going to say there's plenty of archaeology, but, when you deal with like the Kemetic community and you deal with certain archaeology, they always say, where's the bones at? Where's Moses at? Where's Abraham at? We can't find none of that. So they must not exist. No, the Most High said that was going to take place. That was prophesied. That the names of great men will be erased as if they didn't exist. That's in Ecclesiasticus. Let me see. Hold on. I don't want to quote it and not. 44. Yeah. So our legacy has to be found. Proverbs 25 tells us that's the honor of the king. It's the glory of the Most High to consider things. It's the honor of the king to search out a matter. So we got to go find these things, but we got to go through the judgment of the Lord to learn and to receive reproval, so that we can get back to where we're supposed to be. Verse 25, and lo, they are cast out to the heat of the day and to the frost of the night, and they died in great miseries by famine, sword, and pestilence. And the house which is called by their name was thou laid waste, as it is to be seen this day, for the wickedness of the house of Israel and the house of Judah. O Lord, our power, thou hast dealt with us after all thy goodness and according to all thy great mercy of thine. As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law before the children of Israel, saying, and that's a cut for, the dang Christians that run around here talking about the law of Moses or the law of Christ. It wasn't Moses' law. What did it say? As thou spakest by thy servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write the law. Moses was operating under obedience under the commandments. The Most High made Moses inspired to write these commandments. Exodus 24:12 tells you that the commandments were written by the finger of the Most High. So as our people are running around trying to escape serving the law, that's Moses' law. As if he was a man that just decided, I'm just going to come up with these things to create order within the nations because y'all are out of control. I got to figure out some laws to get y'all right. Moses didn't do that. He did so at the commandment of the Most High, and the Most High gave him the commandments to deliver to the people. How easy is that to understand? But our people looking for every excuse as why not to keep the law. Well, we keep the law of Christ. The two greatest commandments, that's it. Meanwhile, Christ was following the same laws that you deny, which is the laws that Moses delivered to the people as commanded by the Most High. Sidebar. Moving on. Verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this great, very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations, where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. So that's a prophecy. All throughout the history, man, every time we was in captivity, the Lord said, we'll remember who we are. Our people, we church, always, concerned about why is it important to know who we are? Okay, so why do we need to know we're Israelites, man? We're all part of the church. We're all children of God. No, we're not. Everyone is not. The Lord said that the children that he recognizes are the children of Israel. Who are the ones who have been destroyed for lack of knowledge? Who doesn't know who we are? What nations have, and Psalms 83 says that they took in crafty counsel, that the name of Israel will be no longer remembrance. So there's a people who were victimized with, real legitimate schemes in order to create spiritual amnesia on our people so that we would not know who we are. We would not remember our history. We would not remember. This is why they throw out all of these different avenues of knowledge so that our people think they're going to find back who they are. Oh, we're the Aboriginal indigenous. Oh, we're the what's that other dude's name? I forgot his name, but Tariq Nasheed, he got some movement going on about the something about the foundational Africans, is foundational African Americans, or some madness, man. I mean, you got the Pan-Africanists, you got the Egyptology, the Kemite community, you got all of these different avenues of telling our people go down these pathways. Yeah. Everyone but that one that involves the Bible. That's why they don't care about all of these other avenues of knowledge, man. They're not laying down laws to restrict one from reading, prophesying, and teaching the Bible out publicly. They're not creating avenues of quote unquote hate speech. They're not worried about it in Canada, talking about giving you life sentences if you're reading passages from the Bible that condemn or exemplify any particular forms of quote unquote hate. You think they're worried about you reading the Egyptian Book of the Dead? Hell no. Think they worried about you reading them, historians and information from the books from the 1800s from Spanish explorers and Portuguese explorers saying, hey, we found these people already here. They don't care about that. But as soon as you open up that book, man, and you start linking up saying, you know what? This is a spiritual testimony to you, me, and others, saying these people of the book, it sounds like me. Then you start doing more research, you start figuring it out, and you're putting all the links together. Then you add some of those other elements that we aforementioned. And then we put the links together and we say, oh, we're the children of the Lord. Oh, we got to keep the commandments. Oh, once we do so, it's a wrap. The downfall of our enemies will be upon the earth, and the kingdom is coming for us. That's where it's a problem. But here we are in captivity. It says this is where we're going to remember ourselves in our captivity. Even the brothers and sisters, man, that woke up and decided to leave the faith, and they don't believe no more, and there's all the other stuff. You would not even know, and run around saying they ain't in captivity no more, and the Bible is bogus, and Deuteronomy 28 is being misinterpreted. And hold on, the Lord said that you wouldn't even be on that path of remembrance if you wasn't in captivity. That's how He laid it down. In the land of our captivities, we're going to remember ourselves. So even going on the path of trying to find out who we are lets you know that we're in captivity. But who did that happen to? The children of Israel. So forget about all this other, we're this people, we're that people, we're not. No. The Lord said that spirit wouldn't even come to your thoughts if you wasn't in captivity. And who that happened to? The children of Israel. Stop it right there. And then you build on what happened to the children of Israel. You put the pieces of the puzzle together. Verse 31. And shall know that I am the Lord, their power. For I will give them an heart and ears to hear. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name. See, that's why we celebrate and observe the convocational days of the Lord, the holy convocations, despite what some say. Oh, you can't keep the holy days outside of Jerusalem. I can't tell. The Lord said that's exactly where you're going to be keeping them. Yahushua told the woman at the well in John the 4th chapter, they said, full well, you're not going to, you know what? I don't want to misquote Yahushua, so let me give him his just due. I don't want to misquote that. I'm going to get right to the point. John. Yeah. Let's read 9 down to 11, right? John 4, 19 down to 21. It says, the woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet, which goes back to Deuteronomy 18, where Moses prophesied and said that a one is going to come amongst your people that like unto me, a prophet. I'm kind of paraphrasing on Deuteronomy 18:18, with the prophesied of Yahushua. But it says, I perceive thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahushua saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Now, when she said in this mountain, I believe it was Mount Gerizim, where the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom, was worshiping. And in Mount Zion of Jerusalem is where the southern kingdom was. So when she was acknowledging that, he said, look, the way the northern kingdom, where your tribes was worshiping, they ain't going to be worshiping there no more, or in Jerusalem. Which means what? We're going to be displaced out of our land, but there is going to be manners of worship after that. He prophesied and let her know. It's not, you're not going to be worshiping here no more. But in the land of your captivities, you're going to remember yourself. And that's where you're going to give praise to the Lord again. Right? Verse 32, Shalaki, back in Baruch. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, for they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord. See, this is why, we do put an emphasis on ethnicity. We do put an emphasis on history. We do put an emphasis on understanding and knowing our past, right? Because that's the way that we get back. Jeremiah 6:16 says, seek ye the old paths. Where is the right way? Return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds, and they shall remember the way of their fathers was sin before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So if the children of Israel are already over in the land, obviously the people that's over there, they're not the people, because the Lord said that we will be brought together out of the lands where we were scattered, and we're going to be brought back into the land of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. Well, how are we going to be lords of it? You know, the Christians out there saying everybody's going to be saved, even if you don't believe in the Apocrypha, no problem. Well, you got Revelation, right? 2:26 says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Huh? So there's going to be a hierarchy of power in the kingdom. We're not going in hand, everybody, you know, we are the world and the Rainbow Coalition and everybody else, we all riding into the kingdom together. That's not going down. There's going to be structure and order in the kingdom. And the Lord said that he that keepeth his works unto the end, him will he give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. If they get out of line, somebody's going to get broken with this rod of iron. The laws and the commandments and the discipline of the judgments will be in effect. But power, whoever overcomes, and if you're speaking this to the churches which was inhabited by Israelites, the 7 churches, that was all Israel in there, will give him power over the nation. So getting back to Baruch, well, we just get to reading. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they shall be lords over it, lords of it. So the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob who overcome will have power and rule over the nations. Baruch said, you're going to be lords over this. See, that's what Micah, the 4th chapter tells us. Zechariah, the 8th chapter tells us. That's how it goes down. And what's it say? And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So once we get back to our land and we're in our kingdom, people question whether or not you'll be able to repopulate. You're going to have kids in the kingdom and all that. Yeah, the scriptures say so. I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So repopulation of, will we be having children in the kingdom? Sure. Verse 35, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their power, and they shall be my people, and I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. Once we get it, we're there. Once we get it, we are there, right? And we ain't going nowhere after that. So all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for that. Let's get to, so just think about that for the day, man. You know, make that part of your daily meditation here on the Sabbath. If you haven't already got something to think about, but just think about it, man. That summarizes our whole legacy, history, before and after, and with the work that we got to do, right? So let's start off, right? Let's get to it. Let's look at the war front, right? I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm gonna kind of zip through some of these because these are kind of ongoing headlines, but you know, we got to update them. We got to make sure that we're staying abreast of what's going on and how close we are to this World War III scenario. So now we see here how Europe and Britain are getting ready for World War III. Interactive graphic reveals how the West will stop Putin unleashing Armageddon with nukes at Russia's doorstep. Mass conscription at 18 and arms factories are firing up. So what does that mean? They just got to acknowledge, and they're saying that Europe and Britain are they're preparing for war. We've seen quotes coming from the president of France, Macron. He's talking about getting ready for war. I'm not. You telling me that whole time I'm reading those scriptures, y'all didn't see nothing? Shalaki, y'all. Let me get back to it. I don't know what happened. I thought I was sharing. But at least y'all was attentive and listening to me read the scriptures. Shalaki for not sharing. I wish y'all told me ahead of time. I would have been sharing. But nonetheless, I guess it's hearing the word was good enough. But remember, the Most High even said, "Be not hearers of the word, but doers." All right, so let's get back to it. How Europe and Britain are getting ready for World War III. Interactive graphic reveals how the West will stop Putin unleashing Armageddon with nukes at Russia's doorstep. Mass conscription at 18 and arms factories are firing up. So we've heard Macron talk about getting ready for war. Germany talking about getting ready for war. Britain's talking about getting ready for war. Obviously, Ukraine is still talking about it. You've got a number of different nations that surround. You got Poland. A number of different nations that also surround. Who were the other three? There was three other ones that was near Russia that was talking the same talk. They're all preparing for warfare, right? But now here they are talking about conscription. And you might say, well, what's conscription? And this is interesting. Let's look at this real quick. Conscription, compulsory enrollment, especially for armed services. The draft. See that's very interesting because here they are in Europe already preparing for the draft. They're already putting it out there. Listen, warfare is coming. Get ready for the draft. I believe they even are changing the age. It's even down to getting younger and younger over there in Europe. So they're preparing for the draft. They're already trying to get some warm bodies out there on the field to get busy, right? And they said that the way that they're going to stop Russia is by is by putting nukes at his doorstep and making a veiled threat that that's where it's going if you want to go to war. Putin has already said, I'm ready. Look, more than 2 years into the Ukraine war, Vladimir Putin has doubled down. UK and European allies are stealing their economies and armed forces for war. So Europe is getting ready for war. The nations are riding together. NATO is already, they're talking about, they're contemplating on sending trainers to Ukraine. They've been had men down there. They've been talking about, we're getting ready for that. Let's not fall for the foolishness, right? They're already doing it. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022 saw the horrors of a large-scale war darken Europe's doorstep for the first time since the end of World War II. For a short while, hope endured that a swift resolution to the conflict would materialize, but before long, the prospect of a speedy diplomatic solution lay in tatters as Moscow's drones and missiles continue to batter Ukraine cities. And you know why they're ramping up getting Europe involvement, and I've been saying it all along, is because Ukraine has lost the war and NATO is not going to take that embarrassment. The West is not going to take that embarrassment, saying all the money, all the weapons, all the training, all the propaganda, all of the press, everything that we've done to try to stop this thing, the sanctions and everything else has not worked. And we could not stop Russia, and we're not going to sit back and allow them to have full reign of power over the earth at the expense of saying the West and America were unable to stop them. So they're not going to allow them to have this war take over without saying, well, you know what? We got to make sure that we're going to win. They've gone on record saying we can't allow Russia to win. I forgot which Edomite politician said that. They said we can't allow Russia to win. And he was a NATO representative. If you remember, over the last few months and last year, Russia's got the school programs now they're implementing, nuclear preparedness. NATO's arming up with the biggest naval drills this year. You got multiple elections all throughout the earth. Everything is shifting and changing. All the nations with nuclear powers is out there flexing their muscle, getting their missiles together, doing test launches, riding up on each other in the seas, doing little test flybys in the air, different airspaces from Russia and America, China and Taiwan. They're all testing each other. And now Europe is talking about getting ready for the draft. And they're getting them in at 18. So let's keep an eye on that. They said the arms factories, they're firing up. They're all getting ready. How close this thing is, man? Hey, we don't know, but it's seeming more of a realistic possibility, but maybe this year. Who knows? The way this election is going, they already saying Trump is up in all the damn polls, and he's fighting the damn multiple cases. But right now, it's some damn what are they talking about? Some damn, I'm about to call it money laundering, hush money trial, because he, you know, however many years ago, then paid off some harlot. I mean, what's that got to do with any damn thing, man? But everything he got going on, man, this dude's still winning. And they trying to already convince Joe, you know, he might need to back down. They're trying to prep Gavin Newsom. Maybe he'll jump into the fray. They're going to need something to kind of slow the momentum down, distract the people, create a whole new way of voting. Not a new way, but, you know, an unverifiable way to vote, just like they did when they, you know, had the plague jump off. You know what I'm talking about. Well, they say you can't come out to the polls, just mail it in. And before you know it, they said that Slow Biden had more votes than any president ever. Who the hell really is? Who really believes that, man? Who thinks that Slow Biden was that popular, man? Everybody loves Slow Biden, man. He got the most votes out of any other previous candidate. Even Obama. Obama was, you know, loved by all and still is. He said he got more votes than him. Who believes that? But when you do some mail-in ballots and all that other stuff, man, and everything is digitized, oh, you can trick the numbers however you want to. But something is going to give, man. I'm convinced of that. Lord willing, I ain't wrong, but something, whether it's from disease, war, economic, they got to throw something in the mix to change the trajectory of where this thing is going. Let's move on. Out of troops, Ukraine warns it has no more reserves as Putin masses 500,000 fighters on the front line in a pivotal moment for the West. Ukraine is over with, man. That's a wrap. And now Putin gets these 500,000 lined up to join the rest that was already over there to put their stamp down. And that's why NATO was scrambling, saying, guess what? It might be real. It might go down. This is why all the other nations that surround us saying we're next. You know, they don't want that going down. So as they see him marching another 500,000, you know, troops down there, they're saying, well, what's that for? Ukraine is pretty much a wrap. Why is he marching even more down there? That's why NATO is nervous. And they're saying, well, America says, well, the only way we're going to stop him, we're going to have to send some nukes down there at his doorstep and let him know. We'll fire off if you really want to go there. But let's continue. The world, look at this guy. Yeah. See, here they go. The world's fault. Zelensky speaks out amid Russian assault. This idiot, man, this dude says it is it's the world's fault that this happened to him and his people. Forget all of the history between Russia and Ukraine and them, you know, annexing themselves away from the Soviet Union back in the 90s. Forget about them having NAZI, you know, political parties running things. Forget about all of the racism that they committed to the Nigerians and the blacks that was over. Forget all of that stuff, man. He says the reason, forget the fact that you open up your doors and allow NATO to come in there and manipulate you and say we want to move a little bit closer in when you had an agreement with Russia that NATO was not allowed to come any closer to Russia. And you said, well, forget all that. Y'all can come on over here with us as long as you make us a part of NATO. That's what sparked this whole thing off. But Zelensky says, no. What's happening to us is your fault now. After all these people been running around here with their damn blue and yellow flags and talking about stand with Ukraine and all this other stuff. And now he sit back and slap you in the face and say, it's your fault. After all the support that they went out there and had Hollywood people out there going on TV, they let him speak at the damn Grammy. What was it? The Grammys or one of them, what was it? Within the first year of the war, they opened up a teleprompter and let him speak at a damn Oscar Awards or something like that. You know, they let him politicize. He's flying around countries in his same old green, dirty suit on, army suit on. Meanwhile, you've seen the videos of him twerking and wearing heels and, you know, dressing like a damn sodomite. That's really what he's up to. You got damn hundreds of billions of dollars, and he says, you know what? All of this is your fault. So take that, America. Take that. You bleeding heart, you know, Democrats and liberals and anybody else saying, oh, that's not right. This dude still slap you in the face and say, man, this is your fault. After everything y'all did. Sirach 40, let me read this. And this is what happens with him. Verse 28, my son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg. And we're going to show you what he's talking about in this damn thing. The life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluteth himself with other men's meat, but a wise man will be nurtured and beware thereof. So this not only is a lesson for him, because what's he doing? He's running out there, panhandling the nations, saying, give me more. I don't have enough. We need this. We need that. It's your fault if we don't have this. If we get destroyed, it's because of you. If you don't give me more weapons, if you don't get... And that's a damn beggar's life, man. The Lord says, better for you to die than to beg, man. Fall on your sword and leave it alone. Right? But let alone, that is also really for us. You know? When the Most High said, man, he that don't take care of his own house is worse than the infidel. The infidel is one who's given up the faith. So the Lord does implore us to get sufficient, get your own, try to establish an income for yourself, try to establish a way that you're not dependent upon another man's table. Sure, everybody falls on hard times. You might need a little help, a little pick me up here, but you don't become dependent upon somebody else. That's why you don't trust this damn system, man. The so-called white man says once he got you hooked, in the clause of his governmental assistance and these federal safety net programs, i.e. SNAP, EBT, Section 8, so forth and so on, he got you by the balls, man. Sisters, you know, going out there, man, you get to Section 8, okay, cool, but guess what? That completely destroys any hope for you of having a family with a man in the house, a true marriage, unless you give up that benefit. And many of our people don't want to do that. I got this little 5-bedroom house out there in Lancaster, and I'm paying $1,000, or probably less than that. I'm not giving that up so I can have a man. He can come over and he can hit it, but we not getting together. I can't have him in the house. And meanwhile, the one that's coming over here, he's not even the father of the 5 kids. There's 3 other dudes. I mean, that's how bad we've gotten into a scenario to where white man in the government says, I'm daddy, white zaddy. And I remember playing the video, the one sister, where she was saying, you know, being on government assistance is like, you know, having a pimp, or, you know, basically being dependent upon somebody. She said she was dealing with a sugar daddy. And even though he had money, he would give her just enough to keep coming back. And that's where the dependency comes on. He's going to give you just enough to get by. But guess what, man? When they switch up this economy and they do things, man, they cut the damn faucets off. You see what happened when they turn off the faucets of the damn EDD and PPP and everything else. Jake went out there and just started acting a damn fool. Putting air tags on cars, robbing people, running in stores, smashing and grabbing, doing everything else. When you can't get that freeness, then everybody acts a damn fool. So the Lord is letting us know, man, make sure we are able to get out there and get what we need to get to support ourselves and don't be dependent upon somebody else. If you get a little bit, if you need that help, get it until you're done with it, and you get up off of it and you go do what you need to do. But don't become dependent upon it. Another man said was not counted for a life, for he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man is well nurtured, will be aware. Begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. Now, look at this guy. Kharkiv, Ukraine. The situation in Ukraine is so serious that President Volodymyr Zelensky had to cancel a planned trip to Spain and come straight to Kharkiv, the country's second largest city, which he again in real danger from the Russian advance. With exclusive access, ABC News joined Zelensky on a tour of a hospital in the city with Zelensky, where he met soldiers injured in northern defense and presented them with medals of valor. It's really important for me to be here, he told us as we walked the corridors. Is it America's fault? We asked him. What's happening now in Kharkiv? It's the world's fault, he replied. They gave the opportunity for Putin to occupy, but now the world can help. What does he mean? That the world hasn't been helping you? You haven't been getting hundreds and billions of dollars from America alone, let alone you've gotten money from Ukraine, you've gotten weapons, you've gotten jets, you've gotten tanks, you've gotten everything that you need. And he says, oh, it's your fault. You let them occupy it. No, it isn't. When you agreed to let NATO set up shop and get closer and break the agreement, that was you. What are you talking about? Look, he says he's always careful not to criticize the U.S., but this was a slightly more frank Zelensky than we usually see. He knows not to bite the hand that feeds him. He knows that damn great whore of America is the one who's supplying him with the poisonous milk out of her breasts. The drunken wrath of the fornication of the great harlot, the mother of harlots, right? So he knows I better not say too much, but it's the world's fault that all this went down, right? You see, that's why I said begging is sweet in the mouth of the shameless, but in his belly there shall burn a fire. See, he can't have enough. This is why our people need to wake the hell up and stop. I'm sure mostly now everybody's like, hold on. Why they keep sending all this money to Ukraine? Early off when the war started, Satan is, what's his name? Putin, he's Satan, which I agree. But, they're going to sit back and say, he's bad. Oh, Ukraine's good. Black folks in there and damn Hispanic, you didn't know nothing about Ukraine. You couldn't even point it out on a map. But y'all was running around here talking about stand with Ukraine, help Ukraine. And now all of a sudden, when you see hundreds of billions of dollars going over there and you ain't getting nothing and you still going back to your damn tent. Are you going back to the house saying, how is it going to be the light bill or is it going to be food today? Do I pay my phone? You know what I'm saying? Or do I put this gas in my car? Now you're sitting back saying, why are we giving them all this money? Man, the hell with them. We ain't with that. Give us Trump. Our people are so confused, man. Ping pong ball all over the damn place. We're getting hit upside the head here. Boom, boom, boom. And we bouncing around, man. And at no point in time do we stop and say, hold on. We're not going through this no more, man. I don't know what the hell these people are doing. Let me withdraw myself from all and examine what's happening. Sirach 12:1. It says, when thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefit. See, that's why the Lord said, don't just be out there just completely, completely charitable, giving to anybody, everybody, whoever. No, the Lord said you got to be discretionary about who you are helping. You understand? You see the brother out there standing in front of the liquor store every damn day, smelling like all kind of liquor, and he's saying, hey, brother, you got $1, man? I'm trying to get something to eat. You know damn well he's going to use that to continually get drunk and feed his demons. Should you be helping him? The Lord said, if you're going to do good, know to whom you're doing it. You got to tell him, hey, bro, I know you're going to use this money for something that's going to, fuel a demon that's on you, that's got you in the position that you're in. I don't want to continue on that cycle, man. If you're hungry, I'll go buy you something to eat. And I've seen this, witness it personally. Trying to give them the alternative. No, I'm not going to give you no money, but here, I'm going to go buy you something to eat. Give them the food, man. The food ends up thrown on the floor. Give them stuff and they complaining about what you bought them. So don't feel bad about telling somebody no. You got to be able to stand on it, man. The Lord gave you opportunity and tells you what type of scrutiny you should utilize when you're helping others. Even your own. You see how people out there jacked up in bad situations, but guess what? Some of that is the judgment of the Lord. Sometimes you got to just tell them tough love. Hey, you know what? I ain't got no money, man. Shall not live by bread alone. But here's his literature, man. Here's this. All of them got phones. They got the Obama phones and everything else. Here, check out this website, man. Check out this YouTube channel, man. Eat some of this. Eat some of the spiritual bread. Maybe that's gonna get you on a better path. You know. I seen a video of not a video, a show called what was the name of that show? Basically it was about dealing with people with addictions, man, and the family members wanted to have like a ambush council with them, and they was following this one Edomite. He was like in his 20s, and this dude had a heroin habit, what was it, $200 a day habit. And he was funding himself by panhandling out down the streets. It's $200 a day. That's $1,400 a week. That's more than most make at your job of your salaries. A lot of people ain't making $1,400 a week. Now, granted, that's 7 days a week, but however, he getting $1,400 a week just to fuel his drug habit, right? And was making it just off of begging for money. I don't know if anybody's seen that show. It's on the tip of my tongue, man. Intervention. That's it. But anyway, I mean, you see how people get down. Zelensky needs an intervention, man. This dude constantly begging, telling back, no, the world can help now. We give you more. What? That's over with, man. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High. So the Lord said, who do we get to? To the godly man, to the brother or the sister that's out there trying to fear the Most High, keeping the commandments, that's trying to make a change in their lives, that's willing to listen and adhere to what you're trying to, deliver to them. Or however they've already been living and, fell on some hard times or whatever the case may be. And the Lord said, you do that, you'll find payback. You'll get a recompense. It said, if it don't come back from that individual, they may not be on their feet to say, you know what, brother, you gave me this money. You helped me out. You let my family stay there for a minute. He said, you might not get that back, but the Lord's going to make sure he takes care of you. It says, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. So that's two things. The Lord said, number one, you can't deliver good to anybody nothing good is going to come out of somebody who's always occupied in evil. You trying to help the sister over there, man. She prostituting herself all day every day up and down Fig, and you trying to tell her, hey, get off the street, sisters. You need to repent. If they always occupied in evil, man, there's nothing that's going to go. No good is going to come from it. Their conscience is seared with a hot iron. They ain't trying to leave. And it says, nor to him that giveth no alms. Scripture said, man, alms deliver from death. Alms is very important. Whether it's monetary, whether it's through your time and your efforts that you do, towards helping, your brothers and your sisters that's in the faith. The Lord said, man, no good is going to come if you don't give no alms, man. So everybody should be giving their charitable alms to help further ministries. It don't have to be MOTC. It could be whatever the case may be. We don't necessarily always be saying give, and we ain't selling nothing. But the water to the brothers and sisters who have supported us and given alms and throughout the years is much appreciated. It does not go unnoticed, like the Most High said. If it's not always acknowledged by us, the Most High knows, But I always try to acknowledge, when brothers and sisters do support the ministry here at MOTC and give your alms. It's much appreciated, much needed. It goes a long way in helping us in our efforts to continue the gospel and continue on trying to get this word out and to create a environment for brothers and sisters to repent, and learn from. Right. Verse 4 is the last one I'm reading. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner. So Zelensky is clearly a sinner. He's out there doing all kind of abominations and wickedness, man. Let alone he's a damn heathen. we ain't trying to help him. But it just shows you the hypocrisy, man, that this guy runs around now. He says it's your fault that he's in the situation that he's in right now. Right. So go figure. Go figure. Let me let's continue on. All right. Russia warns it is ready for direct conflict if the West wants to fight for Ukraine on the battlefield, says Swedish Prime Minister, says he is open to hosting nukes in a war situation. So the drama continues. He says he's ready to fight a direct conflict. If the West wants it, he said he's ready to go. And they're going to get busy with nukes. So there you have it. Continuing on, it says Iranian lawmaker declares Tehran obtaining nuclear bombs. So now they're already saying, the lawmakers in Iran are saying Iran's already got a hold of nukes. They're not supposed to have them, but now if they got them, that's going to be a threat towards the Israelis, America, and any and all who oppose Iran. And guess who Iran is aligned with? You guessed it, Russia, China, right? And the BRICS nations. Now you got another nuclear power that's going to align themselves against America and the West. After the head of the United Nations Atomic Watchdog Agency warned that Iran has enough uranium to produce several nuclear bombs, a firebrand Iranian lawmaker declared on Friday that the Islamic Republic of Iran possesses atomic weapons. In my opinion, we have achieved nuclear weapons, but we do not announce it. See, they ain't going to tell you. They got them, but they ain't going to speak on it. Meanwhile, he just spoke on it. Damn heathen. It's so silly. It means our policy is to possess nuclear bombs, but our declared policy is currently within the framework of the JCPOA. Ahmad Bakshayesh Ardestani told the Iran-based outlet Warrior Dad 24 on Friday, according to an article published by the independent news organization Iran International in London. Let me see if I can find this headline. Look at that. Now they said they already got the materials. They got everything that they need. Right? What is this? See, I don't even need to go to the headline. They're trying to block the site. But anyway, you can see it right here. Iran can make official material for a bomb in about 12 days. All they need is 12 days, man, and they can make it damn nuke. Look, Iran can make enough material for a nuclear device in about 12 days. They're already acknowledging they got the atomic material, infrastructure, and everything else. They already got the bombs ready to go. So add more fuel to the fire. No pun intended. But Iran is ready too. Let's continue. North Korea fires multiple short-range ballistic missiles. Seoul says, so South Korea says that North Korea is out firing their short-range ballistic missiles. They're preparing as well. You know, North Korea they don't never want to be left out. So they're over there launching. They want some attention. They're prepared, right? And they're already acknowledged that they're lining themselves up with Russia as well. Kim Jong-un then already came out and was like, man, he's pledging his allegiance to Putin. This thing's going to be huge, man. When we reading Daniel, the 12th chapter says it's going to be like a time such as never since before. Paraphrasing, I mean, unreal. Catastrophes and destruction is coming. And not to mention, the so-called white man is still over here bubbling up new diseases and new plagues to hit the earth as well. He's still poisoning food and water systems. He's still trying to, contemplate on population reduction so that he can have his 15-minute cities and world ID and control grid systems and the whole nine for the remains. I was watching this little video where this Edomite woman wrote a book about, the impacts of nuclear war or whatnot. And she said that within 72 minutes, and I think I shared this article a while back, within 72 minutes, In all-out nuclear Armageddon, she said 5 billion people will be dead. And that's what, yeah, I did share this article, but I watched a video of her being interviewed. 72 minutes. And then when you read about America being destroyed in an hour, I mean, that could be literal, right? And here these nations are, they're getting ready. So let's move on. Gunned down. Slovakia Prime Minister shot. Pro-Putin leader Robert Fico fighting for his life after assassination attempt. As gunman 71 is arrested. If y'all remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about assassinations of political figures is up. Remember, it said that this is the headline that I initiated was talking about Mexico. I think they said there was like 60 political assassinations in this election year in Mexico. They killed a guy down in Argentina, Ecuador. I think they had an issue in Argentina, Africa. Now I brought out all those articles, and then next thing you know, here we go. A couple weeks later, look at this. So just moving in the spirit and seeing how, and I remember bringing out 2 Ezra 15, regarding people not regarding the princes and the rulers or whatnot, man, sedition among men. So here we got a pro-Putin leader in Slovakia, the prime minister. He gets shot. They try to take him out. And obviously this is politically motivated because of his affiliations with Putin and Russia. And he voted against Ukraine joining NATO. So this was a hit. And they said, oh, this guy's 71, he operated on his own. But come on, man. Who knows how this thing went down? But you see what happened, right? Let's continue. Putin and Xi further their embrace to defy U.S.-led pressure. So Putin was in China this week. Slow Biden can't get a call answered in China. That's why you notice they just laid out some more tariffs on China, trying to cripple them, provoking them even more. I didn't even put that in here, man, but just let me show that real quick. China's economy is already jacked up right now. They ain't doing too good, right? But America doubles down and then says Biden sharply hikes U.S. tariffs on an array of Chinese imports. The United States imported $427 billion in goods from China in 2023 and exported $148 billion to the world's number 2 economy, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, a trade gap that has persisted. Long story short, when the U.S. hikes up these tariffs and these taxes on it, they already going to cripple them even more economically. So now you see why China made a move and said, well, let me get back. We need to get over here and fast track this BRICS movement with Russia. We need to get this economy going. We need to break away from the dollar. We need to fall back from dealing with this madness over here. Right. And you see what ends up happening. See, this is how the Most High, gives certain principles when it comes down to what these nations out here doing. And he tells us, no, I want Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 4:9, it says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. See, this is why you see them teaming up together. They're not going to allow America to take them down like that, right? So 2 is better than 1. And they're going to show their united front. Those said their embrace. Unbelievable. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So they're over there sharpening swords against America, man. And slow Biden, man, where has he been at? He's running around trying to hold on to this campaign, man, trying not to fall. But meanwhile, all the nations, man, is arming up, powering up against him. And he ain't ready. So Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin doubled down on their alliance against the West. Hello? This week, accusing the United States and its allies of trying to block their nation's rise during a 2-day official visit to China by the Kremlin leader that ended Friday. It was Putin's first trip abroad since beginning a 5th term in office following a pro-forma election in March. While the visit was timed to honor the 75th anniversary of the Soviet Union's recognition of the People's Republic of China and kickstart a year of Russian-Chinese cultural exchange, there was little question of the wider geopolitical drama at play. So they openly were showing their alliances and their allegiances and their power grab against America. And they said they're getting ready for both conflict. All right. I don't have the video. Do I have the video to play? Yeah.
You think there?
I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, man. Hold on. Let me make sure. All right. I'm using this fair use for commentary, feedback, and for teaching purposes. Former CDC director warned scientists are likely creating the next pandemic right now, and it's going to be a strain of bird flu designed to attack the human immune system. This guy's a former CDC director. This is what he says could possibly be happening. This ain't me, right? Hold on. Let me see something. Oh, I thought I had it. I don't. See, I want to, let me, I don't want no problems, YouTube. I don't want no problems, all right? Just in the event that they said anything, I want to cover my tracks because they heard me say it, but you know how these damn bastards be acting like it don't matter. All right, so I'm gonna play this video. This is under fair use. I believe I'm sharing it. All right, it's under fair use. Then I'm gonna be sharing this for commentary and teaching purposes. Now we see here on this video, this is a CDC director, and he's gonna sit back and say that the next thing that they're over there drumming up, and we're hearing about it all over the place. Now, whether or not this is going to be a legitimate threat, or are they just utilizing it to, scare, control people, we don't know yet. Because some of the stories of this bird flu transferring from animal to human, a couple of them, they walked back and said, no, actually they didn't have bird flu. We don't know. Is it just a hidden veiled threat? It's mostly attacking the animals. What I do know and what I can see in the spirit is them utilizing this and letting this get loose for the food supply. The chickens getting affected, cows getting affected, right? That could shut down farmers. That could shut down, issues or matters of creating a man-made famine where there's, a scarcity of goods to where, certain proteins is too expensive. And guess what they got to back it up with? Oh, don't worry about it. We've got, the GMO this ready, the fake meat this, the frankenfood that. And this is going to be the new meats moving forward until we get a grip on this thing that's been, plaguing the earth. But look, watch him. He says now this is the next thing that they're working on, the next pandemic. And we've heard Fauci say it. We've heard Bill Gates say it. We've heard Slow Biden say it. That there's going to be another one. Listen. Let me hear what he got to say.
You think they should all be stopping this?
Yeah, I wrote an op-ed with.
Didn't we see last week? Didn't they say that China was in the lab bubbling up a new Ebola? See, they've got the heathens, man, working tirelessly to figure out what's going to be the next thing that they want to get busy with. Hold on.
Get your reaction to these State Department documents.
Well, Elizabeth, I think it's really important, and I do think once they are declassified, the American public will get a much better understanding of the knowledge base we have. Clearly, the FBI was able to look through this material and come, with modern certainty that this came from a lab. The Energy Department, low certainty. I might argue that the few.
See, I want to get to the point. I don't have a timestamp. So lucky, y'all. I don't want to, they be flagging if you say it was a lab leak and all this other stuff. Where's the part where he says?
Camel to humans. It never learned how to go to human. Normally, there's a species barrier that takes a long time for these zoonotic viruses to figure out how to get around. Mm-hmm. But when COVID started, it was immediately, I say, the second most infect human
right.
tissue.
They were
so
doing
very
questions about this gain of function.
Species barrier, but this virus is already experiments that are intentionally, absolutely.
I hope so. Boy, do I.
Modifying viruses, and bird flu, I think, is going to be the cause of the great pandemic, where they are teaching these viruses how to be more infectious for humans.
All right. Yes or no?
Did you hear that? That's how devious the so-called white man is, man. He said they are learning how to teach viruses, man. They're experimenting and they're training these viruses because the viruses and these things are live. These are live things. He said they are teaching them how to infect humans. Hold on.
Be done. That's the real threat. That's the real biosecurity threat that these university labs. But in the laboratory, I could make it highly infectious for humans in months because it's been published, the 5 amino acids that I need to change. And so I don't think that research should be done. That's the real threat. That's the real biosecurity threat that these university labs are doing. These bio experiments that are intentionally modifying viruses, and bird flu, I think, is going to be the cause of the great pandemic, where they are teaching these viruses how to be more infectious for humans.
All right.
Now, that's his professional opinion as a scientist, former head of the CDC, the place where they control the diseases, Center for Disease Control, they control the disease. You follow? And he says they're in there teaching viruses how to infect humans. I mean, if the white man is not the devil, man, I don't know who is. That's why the Most High even said, man, if not where and who is he in Job 9:24? The wicked. I mean, who else is diabolical in thinking about teaching viruses how to attack humans? I mean, we've got a long legacy, man, just amongst our own people. Dealing with biological and chemical warfare, man, from the smallpox blankets down to the Tuskegee experiments with syphilis. He's consistently been drumming up things to destroy and kill. Let's move on.
Yes or
no? Well, here we go. Bird flu hits New York as humans told to stay alert after the new H5N1 pandemic warning. So here we go with some more, more hype, more threats to the sanity of people. People they just catching their breath now from, the COVID situation. And now you get bombarded, you're getting hit upside again. Here comes another one. I still see people out there, man, masked up like crazy. See, samples from 6 birds tested positive for the avian flu, including a red-tailed hawk, 3 Canadian geese, a peregrine falcon, and a chicken, Science Alert report. See, these are all, it's infecting these birds, man, and they've got a small handful of them. 1 hawk, 3 geese, 1 falcon, and chicken, and then they go tell all of New York, get ready. So either it's fear that they're instilling upon people, and warning, and then next thing you know, they do let out something wild. But come on, I don't even think it's that damn serious. But they're utilizing it. They're trying to pump it up, which means they probably got something else out. They're going to say, or it started off with this, and it turned into this, just like they keep talking about all the mutations of the vid and everything else. You got to watch this guy, man. Let's continue. If y'all didn't know, France got a state of emergency off of the island of New Caledonia. Deadly riots going on over there of electoral reform. Let's look a little bit of this. And you know, France is where they're having the elections. I mean, not the elections, Slovakia, the Olympics.
Conformément à la demande du président de la République, le Premier ministre a présenté lors du Conseil des...
Enough for you. But maybe I'll mute her and we could just read what she's saying. So she says she's going to deal with a serious breaches of public. Currently, in application of this decree, the state will have reinforced powers to ensure the maintenance of order, and in particular, will be able to impose traffic bans, text messages, house arrests, and searches. Did you hear that? They can ban text messages. So if you're wondering whether or not they can control or take control of the phones, yeah. This is why, you know, the emergency alerts is automatically on your phones and all that other stuff, man. They can turn your camera on, turn your microphone on whenever they want to. This is with all the apps, you know, always asking you with all the fine print written in multiple paragraphs about, do you agree? Do you agree? And just because we need that app, yeah, I don't care. Fine print, I'm not reading it. And all the agreements are set. And boom, they've got full access. So part of them trying to control things is to shut off communications. Let me rewind that a little bit. The maintenance of order, traffic bans, text messages, house arrests, and searches. On behalf of the government, I reiterate before you the call from the storm. It is an active minority, but an active minority that is extremely violent. As we can see in the scenes of chaos. On this little island, man, it's mostly Polynesians, you know, Japhet over there. Could they be Israel? I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say, you know, definitively, because we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man, and every nook and cranny you can find us amongst the Gentiles. But the majority that I seen and looked at, because I never even heard of the place, I looked at it a little bit. It's mostly Polynesians over there. From like it's like a French colony, but nonetheless, it's dark-skinned people over there with afros and the whole nine, man, raising hell, getting busy over there, right? And that's why she said it's a small minority, but they out here causing wild chaos. See, it is an active minority, but an active minority that is extremely violent. As we can see in the chaos, and so that what's at stake for us now, the curfew and the state of emergency. I think they said 6 people are dead, which is presented at the cabinet meeting, which will become in force at 8 p.m. So, you know, all the nations, man, is upset at the so-called white man. Even the small islands where, you know, Polynesian indigenous populations, man, is wilding out, rising up against them. So we see what's going on in the earth. Uprisings of the people, even in the smallest of islands, according to 2 Ezra 9, it said, when we see this thing, then we know it's a time of the end, that the Lord is going to visit the earth which he made. Meanwhile, over here, let's look at the free speech situations, or so-called. Pro-life activists sentenced to years behind bars, including a veteran and 2 women in their 70s. 7 pro-life activists were sentenced to years in federal prison on Tuesday and Wednesday for protesting at the White House surgery clinic in Washington, D.C. in 2020, an abortion clinic infamous for late-term abortions. So we know our stance, according to the law. Abortion is against the laws of the Most High. That is considered murder. That goes against one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill. You translate that word. Kill means to murder. We're not to do that. I mean, you know, I think Aladad did a lesson regarding the laws of abortion. And that gives us an insight in regards to that, right? So imagine our stance. If we stand on the Bible, and when, you know, that's one of the situations that's going on right now, and the talking points within the election right now is regarding abortion rights, and Roe versus Wade, and different states are having their particular political opinions on it and stamping on what they can and can't do. So now if you make that a talking point and you protest, you go out there, you can go to jail for that now. This is where we're seeing more and more about the quote unquote liberties of the First Amendment and all that being infringed upon. And we're seeing the change and the transformation of the shutting down of the word. These people, these are just examples of what they're doing. I think the longest out of these, I think it was 7 of them. Yeah, it did say 7 of them. The longest term, I think one of them got like 4.5 years. The rest of them got like 2.5 years or something like that. But that's still fair time for standing up against abortion. Now imagine when things really get heated, when things really get escalated and they really start banning, so let Slow Biden get in and they push abortion being legal and this, that, and the third, man, and the protests go up, or we're out there on the streets teaching and we're talking about how abortion is wrong and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and it's getting blasted on the YouTube channels and getting blasted on Instagram and everything else. And next thing you know, they're documenting that and making case studies. When they decide to go raid and go hit something, they're going to have the evidence on deck to say, boom, here you go. The ministry of truth is spoken, a la 1984. And you're arrested. It's illegal for you to speak on that. And next thing you know, you're out of here. So it says President Slow Biden's Department of Justice brought conspiracy against and freedom of access to clinical entrances, or the FACE Act, charges against 9 pro-life activists for the protests. Protest, that's all. Which carried a maximum prison sentence of 11 years and $350,000 in fines. The activists were found guilty in 2 separate trials in August and September of 2023 and have been in jail ever since, awaiting sentences. And these people was older too, man. They said, like I said, 2 women in their 70s, they don't give a damn. Old, young, doesn't matter. Protesting now. If you don't like what America stands for, you don't like what's going on, they're going to make protesting illegal. So imagine how we stand as men of the Lord out there prophesying against many countries and kingdoms, as Jeremiah the 28th chapter 9th verse tells us to do. When they stamp that and say, okay, boom, this is why you already see, the issues that are going to be happening to, the highways and the byways, man. First, they're going to make certain crackdowns on the internet. Slowly but surely they're doing out those things, but it's going to filter out into the streets as well. They're trying to get rid of any and all manners of righteousness. Let's continue on. Look at this. Morehouse College might halt graduation on the spot if there are disruptions when President Slow Biden speaks. You tell me that's not a dictatorship? Morehouse College, quote unquote HBCU, historical black college, university, all male college down in Atlanta. If you disrupt when Slow Biden speaks, they said they will stop the graduation on the spot. And that's not a dictatorship? You trying to tell me that the so-called black colleges, man, ain't under the foot of the so-called white man? You niggas is always talking black collar, black collar, black. Man, the white man is your biggest donors, man. And when he comes down there to speak, everybody gets in check, man. You don't have no damn freedoms down there. Quit acting like that. Morehouse College President David A. Thompson said Thursday he would shut down commencement ceremonies on the spot rather than allow police to remove student protesters and zip ties during President Slow Biden's graduation speech. Why would they be? What's wrong? I thought everybody loved Slow Biden. Why would people be speaking out against him? Why are people coming up against him? See, because they're scared about people's pro-Palestinian views. They're scared about people want to talk about the economy. They're scared people want to, call Slow Biden out on his BS. So rather than doing that, they got the police on deck. They can either lock you up or they can just shut down the graduation and you won't be able to get your diploma in the fashion that you labored hard for. You went to school for 4 or 6 years. You got $100,000 in student loan debt, and it might go all to naught because you won't be able to walk the stage and go through the whole little ceremonial practice that they lined up for you because you said something against the dictator slow Biden. That should let you know where things are going to be going down the line if this guy gets reelected. And this is the type of stuff they say that they both devils, man. But you can see the obvious. Trump at least is outright. He's gonna tell you what it is. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Slow Biden, he smiles in your face, stabs you in the back. This same stuff what they say that Trump would do. You speak when I speak. They say he's the dictator. He's the next hit LER, right? They're saying that's how. But I can't tell. Why are they even having his old ass even speaking at a black college graduation is beyond me. What does he got to do with Morehouse College? But we know, a lot of government money flows through them schools. Biden scheduled commencement speech Sunday at one of the nation's preeminent historically black colleges comes as school officials around the country have called in law enforcement to clear pro-Palestinian encampments and quell demonstrations in recent weeks. What we won't allow is disruptive behavior that prevents the ceremonial services from proceeding in a manner that those in attendance can partake and enjoy. I thought you had the freedom to assemble in the First Amendment. Apparently not. Not when good old Slow Joe come down there, man. Genocide Joe and all the other names that they've been giving the guy. So look how that works, man. And the damn Uncle Tom, David Thompson, says when White Zaddy come down here, I want y'all to be on your best behavior. And if you get in the way of boss and you speak out of turn, I'm shutting it down. Police and SWAT team is waiting. You let White Master speak. I mean, good Lord, man, where are we at? Let me move on. At least 4 killed, more than 1 million are without power as a wild storm topples power lines, uproots trees, blows out high-rise windows in Houston. Can you imagine? I mean, here we are in May, leading, a little less than a month, well, a little more than a month away from the summer solstice, kicking in. And we've got massive floods, tornadoes going down in Houston, 1 million people without power, right? So imagine what's that doing to not only the power supply, the food, the agriculture, everything that's going on out there, infrastructure. At this time of the year, I don't recall ever seeing or going over as much, diving into news and information and everything else that I do. I don't remember a hurricane season hitting this early or ever in Texas like this. I could be wrong. I'm just saying from what I've seen, something is going on. I believe it didn't hit Oklahoma. I mean, they were talking about all these tornadoes that was ripping through the Midwest and the South over the last couple of months. Floodings going on from everywhere from China to Dubai to Houston. I mean, come on. If the Spirit of the Lord ain't moving, man, his tempests and the storms hitting this place up, I don't know what isn't, right? Let's continue. Fatal heat waves testing India's ability to protect 1.4 billion people. So even India, man, Elam getting hit upside the head with deadly heat waves. So we see, man, the tempests and the storms and the waves of the Most High is really, hitting these people up. See, look, let me get back to that. I think I brought this precept out last week. Sirach. I think it's Sirach. Yeah, let's read this. Sirach 43, we read 1 down to 3. It says, the pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven with its glorious show. The sun, when it appeared, declaring at his rising a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parts of the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? A man blowing a furnace is in the works of heat. but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times the more. Breathing out fiery vapors and sending forth bright beams, it dimmeth the eyes. That's exactly what the Elam is over there facing right now, man. People dropping dead from the heat over there. They getting hit up. I think China got hit with massive heat waves as well. Let me see. Let me see if there's one in China. Yeah, that was earlier in April last month. Searing heat is back across Southeast China. It's not going away. Now, you can see it's moving over there to India, right? So look at that. Look at the heat. This guy out here dumping water on his head. Asia just got a deadly heat wave, and scientists say it could happen again. That's the works of the Lord, man. When he let out them heat waves, man, and them bright beams, that's judgment, right? But that's even more signs of the times. Let's look at the economy. Now, before we do, I meant to play this video last week. Some of y'all may have seen it. Some of y'all might not have. If you haven't seen it, this is Slow Biden's economic director. This is where he gets his his talking points, his information on the economy. If y'all ain't seen this, man, check this out.
The U.S. government can't.
Fair use. Okay. This is for commentary and teaching purposes, man. Jared Bernstein, the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, President Joseph Biden. Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors. Here he goes. He's an advisor to Slow Biden.
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why?
Now, first of all, he lied right there. The U.S. government does not print the money. They get the money from the Federal Reserve, which is a private bank owned by elite Edomites. Let's just leave it at that. All right. So he's saying there's no stopping America, basically, because we can always print money.
Go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency that we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Now, she just cut him. She's saying, if we print the money, why are we borrowing money that we print? Because we don't print the money. You're getting it from the Federal Reserve, and you borrowing it from the Federal Reserve, a private-owned bank, even though they say they're federal. So she's asking him to explain that.
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? Are
you guys following along? Are you guys confused yet, as he is? I mean, he done double spoke a number of times. Like, he don't know what's going on. Let me back him up. Birds of a feather, man. I mean, this is Slow Biden's, economic advisor. And you wonder why Slow Biden is out there looking like a damn boob every time he try to speak on something. This is where he get his word from.
Again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Since they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah. So a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to, yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, cause it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time and it clearly borrows. Otherwise we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
He doesn't think there's anything confusing there, huh? Can you imagine? I mean, this is, oh my goodness. This is Esau for you, man. Mind you, hold on. Let me get two precepts. I think I want 10. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 10 and 14. It says, "A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be." See, this is how you know he's a complete fool, man. Full of words. What? There's no confusion because the government prints money. Yeah. And then we borrow the money that we print, and then we sell the bond. We sell the bond. You're full of words, man. You can't tell what's going to be. You can't give an understanding of how the damn economy works. And he's an advisor. A fool is also full of words, and a man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? I mean, this is where we're talking about the complete foolishness of the so-called white man. The complete foolishness of the so-called white man. I mean, unbelievable. This is the guy who's calling the shots. I think I want Deuteronomy 32. And let's read verse 21. It says, "They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I've moved them to jealousy with those which are not a people." This is the nature of the so-called white man in Israel. Israel became a forward generation, vain, broke the laws of the Lord, didn't want to, abide by the righteousness of the Most High. The Most High said, "Okay, you got me. You provoked me to jealousy with that which is not a power." And the scriptures tell you that jealousy is the rage of a man in Proverbs. So, in other words, the Most High said, we've made him enraged with that which is not a power. We provoked them to anger with our vanities, and will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. Now, I've read in the Webster's Encyclopedia where it made mention that the so-called white man, when you look at Caucasian, Caucasoid, sub, I showed y'all all that stuff. It basically boils down to them admitting that the so-called white man is a subspecies or below human species of mankind. That's their own definition. That's not mine. I've shown that before. Anybody questions it, I'll show it again. But when the Lord says they're not a people, they self-admittedly have said that. That's in the, no, it might be the Oxford's. I think it's the Oxford's Encyclopedia, 1996 edition. But I've shown that a number of different times. He said Most High said they're not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. I mean, if that guy did not look foolish, and what more can you sit back and look and say, man, how the hell are these fools running the damn world? This guy can't even explain what's going on with his own damn economy. And they saying that he's an advisor. He's a director. And then you wonder why the downfall of America is imminent. Or how. You know what I'm saying? So look at it. Retirees drain savings faster to cope with inflation. So everybody's tapping into their retirement funds. The whole dream of, working your whole damn life to have a retirement funds set up with a pension and a 401k and everything else and IRA. People is tapping in, utilizing all of their resources to try to stay afloat during the time of inflation. Man, they already said by 2030, I think it was 2035, I showed y'all the article, man. They said that the retirement savings is going to be reduced down to like 70 something percent. You're not even going to get 100% of your retirement. And before you know it, I think they said by 2040, there will be no retirement savings. There'll be no such thing as retiring. That's why Social Security, they're trying to up the age that you can be eligible to retire, hoping that you die before you're able to get your benefits. Right? So look, retirements, this is how the economy's going, man. It's bad news. Credit card delinquency surge. Almost 1 in 5 users are maxed out. The shocking state of the restaurant industry. We can't afford to open. We can't afford to close. You know, people that opened up and started up businesses before the vid era and afterwards. I mean, a lot of these restaurants, man, is closing up shop. They can't afford the mortgage rates, the inflation, to buy the food and everything else. It's all bad news. A lot of the fast food industries, they're all suffering because they got to charge so much money now. You seen last week, I showed y'all that what was it, $18? You know, add tax to it, $20+ for a damn Big Mac combo and all the other foods, man. And meanwhile, we all know these foods ain't no damn good for us. So people are now wising up, saying, "Man, I'm not gonna buy this crap, man. I'm paying more to further accelerate my health decline." Don't think so. You know. So here we see here. Here's a quote from the owners of this one business called Wax Paper. It says, "After closing Chinatown, we really." I'll read from the top. In October, Lauren and Peter Lemos locked the doors of the Chinatown sandwich shop for what they thought would be the last time. In late March, they flipped Wax Paper lights back on, not due to newfound success or a windfall, but because they couldn't afford to shut it down. After closing Chinatown, we realized we still have our lease. We still have our federal loans from the SBA, from COVID. The bills are still coming in. Laura Lemos said, "We can't even afford to close. We can't afford to open. We can't afford not to be closed." So that's the quandary that they're in, and I'm sure many others are in. They figure, "Oh, we'll just close up shop, man. It's over with. We're out of here." That the bills ain't stopped from the lease. They still got loans to pay back, business loans they got to pay back. They got all kind of stuff going on. They was like, "We got to open back up. Hopefully, we can get some more business in and we can get things cracking." Not in this environment, not the way that the food industry is going. But that's what they want. They want to shut all the small businesses down. Restaurants, all that, they trying to shut all that stuff down anyway. Look, as famine looms, so we're talking about famine. Famine looms in Sudan. The hungry are eating soil and leaves. So when Hausa said there was going to be famines and pestilences throughout the earth, we're already in the famine. Like I said, we're jaded over here in America because we're complaining about the food price and everything else. Even Slow Biden said it. People got money, you're just mad you got to spend so much of it. Yeah, but people got money only because you got the ability to get credit. When those things is lined up, it's over with. Right? But in third world countries, man, they already are jacked up. They're eating soil and leaves in Sudan. So the Hamites over there, man, they getting hit upside the head heavy. Right? Look at this. Haiti, mud cakes become a staple diet of cost of food source beyond families' reach. Haiti's been eating mud cakes for like 15 years or more. Yeah, real legitimate mud. And it's bad. Brother sent me, other dad sent me an article the other day about them sending in troops from Kenya to try to regulate Haiti. And they were talking about 95% of the damn troops in the police in Kenya is corrupt. So they go send some damn hyenas amongst the jackals and let them kill each other and go crazy. So we'll see how that plays out. But this is where the famine is going, man. They talking about over there in Sudan. They talking about, man, people are balling up soiling it with some water, swallowing it and washing it down with water just to stop the hunger pains. In Haiti, they're already eating mud cakes and cookies and selling them. Good. Let me see here. It's sad, man. Look, this is the bucket full of mud. They put them out, dry them out, and people eating them. Look at her. You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is bad news. This is where it's going down to. See, many of the nations are already, experiencing this. But just wait till this comes to South Central. Wait till this comes to the south side of Chicago. Wait till it comes to Bankhead in Atlanta, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx. Wait till it comes to Liberty City in Miami. You feel what I'm saying? Wait till it hits the Fifth Ward in Houston. Negroes are gonna lose their damn minds, man. When this is what you got left to eat. You know? But the famine is underway. Let's move on. Gavin Newsom was called out for dodging questions about blowing $24 billion tackling homelessness without any results. Didn't we just see? Didn't I tell y'all last week when Kamala Harris was so proud about how she, is getting ready to spend, got a $5 billion budget to help homelessness and all this other stuff. And I said, that money is not going to go anywhere, man. They're going to take that money and run. Well, this is how they operate. Gavin Newsom had $24 billion and can't show nothing for it. And dodges the question. And this is the guy they trying to prop up to get into take slow Biden's place. If they could get away with it. California Governor Gavin Newsom was called out by a reporter after he continued to dodge questions about blowing the state's $24 billion spending on the homeless. The Golden State budget deficit is at least $45 billion, a shortfall so large it prompted Newsom to propose painful spending cuts impacting immigrants, kindergartners, and low-income parents seeking childcare in a state often lauded for having the world's fifth largest economy. California spent $24 billion tackling homelessness over 5 years, but didn't track if the money was helping the state's growing number of unhoused people, a damning report says. So they didn't track the money. So where is the money at? Because I do see tent cities all over the damn place. I do see people that ain't got jobs and all kind of stuff that's going on, man. I have not seen any there's no low income housing. They building housing in Watts, South Central. They building up new little condos and all kind of stuff. Especially in Watts, in the smack dab in the middle of the damn projects they tore down. The Jordan Downs, and they trying to get rid of the rest of them. They building up a whole new housing over there. Jake is over there holding on to the projects as best as they can. The rest of the projects that's left, they over there holding it down as best as they can before they boot them up out of there. Where's the housing that's supposed to be getting these people up out the streets? $24 billion gone. That's how they operate. Look, California's secret 50-cent gas tax hike coming in the next 2 years. Meanwhile, he sure knows how to, we got to protect the earth. We got to protect the carbon. We're going to charge you for more gas, more taxes, penalize you for maintaining and having a damn gas-driven car. Because they see what's happening, they're failing with the push for electric cars and power. Notice that by 2025 they already said they're not. Next year they're saying all gas powered sales is going to cease. So you're not going to be able to find a gas generator, gas leaf blower, gas operated scooter, bike, lawnmower, all that stuff is going to be banned from being sold in California anymore. Then because everybody's not jumping on the electric car bandwagon, they're going to penalize us with taxes and higher gas prices over the next 2 years. So look at this. It says A long-standing emissions reduction program may lead to a 50-cent increase in gasoline prices within 2 years in California, according to a little-known state air quality regulator report. And this ain't even really honest how they putting it out. I'm gonna show y'all in a second. In September, the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, the state's primary environmental regulator, reported gas prices will rise next year by about 50 cents a gallon, and every year thereafter. See, it continues on, it rotates. 50 cents here, next year another 50 cents. Before you know it, the gas tax gonna be up $2-3 just to drive. And if you don't like it, guess what? You can who knows? They'll mess around, start segregating and making 15-minute cities in California. Regulate everybody to get you out the car. They're gonna get Jakes out of them damn cars one way or the other. All for the earth. See, California Air Resources Board, or CARB, as they're worried about the carbon in the air, the carbon footprint of people. Oh, we need to save the earth. So they get more money, more taxes that they can't explain where the money goes because it gets lined in the pockets of the wicked politicians. Republican State Senator Janet Nguyen, one of the legislature's most critical tax hawks, told Fox News Digital the secret tax increase would penalize the majority of Californians. The middle class, the low income, they can't afford gas to go to school, work, or grocery, or the doctor's office, Nguyen said. No one knows about this. I think people just think it's a tax, so they don't know the difference between the carbon tax versus the state tax. It's almost like a tax on the tax, which is exactly what's going on. Same way they're putting the tax on top of the tax for ammo and firearm sales, starting in July, double up in California, man. All right, I'm not gonna, because every time I talk about how bad it is, y'all be hitting me up. When you gonna move? Get up out of there. Come here. Leave there. So, y'all already know. All right, let's move on. But look at this. Why California's 40 cents gas tax increase may need to be $4 instead. This is a contributor to Forbes. They're saying that's not enough. They need to go up to 40 cents. I mean, $4. Hold on, y'all can't read that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can switch that up. Okay, that's better. On the fly, y'all. On the fly. All right. So you got some individuals and idiots out there talking about it needs to be $4. So look at this. These are all the taxes that in California that we all pay for gas, right? You got a state excise tax, a cap and trade tax, a sales tax, a carbon regulation cost, urban underground storage cost, a federal excise cost. These are all the taxes that's increased, and that's why they're saying they're gonna increase it 50 cents, and it's gonna keep going up 50 cents more every year, right? So in reality, the total gas tax in California will be approximately anywhere from $1.95 to $2. When you combine all of these taxes with these continual increases, man, they just constantly roll over. By 2026, we could see an increase in gas price and tax of almost $2. And right now, I think according to AAA, the gas price in California is like $5. No, $5.26 last I looked. So by 2026, include the tax on it, we could be looking at gas prices at $6-7 a gallon within the next year and a half. That's enough for me to be like, sayonara, man. You know? And that's consistent. It ain't like it's gonna be flowing up and down like it did last year when it went up to $6, $7, $8, and then it went down, and it, because election kicks in, it's already going back up again now. But that would be consistent. This is out of control. All right. I think this is my last one here, man. Diddy. I'm sure y'all seen this, man. They're getting ready to bury this fool. Diddy is seen violently assaulting Cassie after chasing her down the hallway in a towel in the hotel surveillance footage. Very ironic that this, whatever this Negro did and what all the skeletons he got in his closet, you dig what I'm saying? They put it on Front Street. And I know the one thing that, people have linked up, and I did as well, was when he sued his liquor distributor out of Europe and claimed discrimination, and he won the lawsuit. Ever since then, he's been catching hell. So you don't play with these people, man, because when they want to, pull your little your card, they're gonna pull your card. And you said, well, why is this coming out now? Well, look at this. Oh, no, I didn't include this. That ironically, and I'm gonna just put this. Ironically, this happened shortly after this video came out. Shortly after his son made a rap song dissing 50 Cent, and then also took some jabs at the feds when they raided his house. And he said something to the effect of, "Oh, the feds raided both of our houses. They messed up because they didn't get the third one." Basically saying like, y'all raided 2 houses, but the real dirt and everything else is in the third house where we really be at. So you taunt the feds and don't think they ain't gonna double back and get at you and be like, "Hey, that's what you're doing? Okay, boom. Now we're gonna really put your pops out there, and we're gonna come get you Negroes." If you see in this video, man, she looked like she was, she had a hood on, she had a little bag, she was trying to get up out of there, and she was waiting for the elevator. Man, this dude comes around the corner with his damn towel on, yanks her, slams her on the ground, kicks her, and then drags her back to the hotel room. And then they show up at the award ceremony the next day like nothing happened. These people is wicked as hell, man. But yeah, Sean Diddy Combs, Love, whatever he's calling himself now, they on his head. They are on that Negro's head. So it goes to show you, man, don't mess with them people, man, because he sold his soul over to him, and now they're on his head, right? They said that what was it? Damn, I just lost my train of thought. What did they say to him? Damn, I can't remember. But anyway, man, when Esau want to come knocking at your door and he don't like what you're doing, he's coming to get you. He's coming to get you, man. So with that, man, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High while y'all was shot, man. The water for y'all tuning in, man. Have a blessed Shabbat. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. If I missed y'all from earlier, shalom to y'all. See Monica in the house. Shalom to you, sis. Brother Jackson in the house. Elder Rashab in the house. Shalom to y'all. All praises, man. All praises. All right, so I'm gonna slide on out of here, man. Y'all be well, Lord willing. Y'all got some edification today, and we look forward to the next. Look forward to Memorial Assignment next week, the 29th. It's a memorial of our holy days, man. So hopefully y'all are preparing for that as well. But tune in. See y'all in the near future. Shalom.